Why do 90% roughly of my shoutouts work and yours don't? Let's talk about it. What's going on, everyone? Hayden here, coming back at you with a brand new video. And in this one, you already saw the title and thumbnail. Roughly 90% of my shoutouts work at this point, and I want to kind of explain the process behind that. And this does come with experience. So as you guys continue going through it, you're spending money, you're testing, you're learning, you're failing, and you're succeeding, all those different things, you're going to be learning how to do this better and better every single time. But with that being said, I want to jump inside of my computer and go through a couple key points that I was just thinking about earlier today, and that's why I'm making this video right now, because it is important. I know a lot of you guys, I'm getting a ton of messages, both in the Facebook group and on Instagram, just of people like, they're not really getting results. They're like, well, I got 430 visits, one sale. So whether that's a bad conversion rate, maybe they're not getting a lot of clicks, whatever the case may be, there's some bigger picture things you need to take a step back and look at, and that's probably the variable as to why yours aren't working. So before we jump inside and do that, our Facebook group passed 12,000 members. It's absolutely insane. There's literally, I think, 50 to 100 posts going through there every single day. You can get people's opinions, ask questions, get direct help, whatever. If you haven't jumped inside of there, I'm gonna leave that link down below. You can do that whenever you want. Again, 100% free. It's just free value, fun, and a good positive environment. Now, let's jump inside of my computer and get to the good stuff. Okay, now that we're inside of here, I wanna ask you a question. Have you guys ever been in school? My answer to that is yes, of course you have. I have as well. Did you ever learn about the process of elimination? I bet the teachers didn't really teach you this, but this is kind of a trick you used on tests, okay? And this, I guess, wow, I did learn something in school. I learned how to do this, okay? So on a test, when you don't know the answers, which was me on pretty much every single test, hence why I'm a degenerate, but process of elimination. This is something that I apply now to a lot of my businesses, especially with dropshipping, because I don't just want to try and figure out what works. First, I want to eliminate the stuff I already know is not going to work. Or in this case, in school, not the correct answer, so that I don't even have the chance of guessing that. That way it's going to automatically increase my chance of having success. Again, your percentage rate of success. So with that being said, as I'm going through picking all these different influencers, right, whether there's 50, 100, there's thousands, whatever, you know, it depends on your niche, I'm going through and eliminating the ones, and I can usually do it within 5 seconds when I land on the page. Nope, don't want to work with this one. Boom, cut this one off. Don't want to do it, don't want to do it. You know, oh, this one might work, let me throw it in this pile. Okay, and I actually have a spreadsheet. I can show it to you guys in one of these videos. I'll go through and show you exactly how to organize, track, and look at all these influencers, but I'm eliminating all the ones that I know for a fact are not gonna work. And what that's actually doing for me is something that I apply to a lot more than just business, okay? This is more of a life thing. I'm selective. Okay, whether that comes to what business I want to start, where I want to invest my money, what I want to do, what time, you know, who I want to give my time to, friends, whatever. But when it comes to influencers, you have to be selective, because at the end of the day, they want your money. That's what they're doing. They want to make money. That's why they made an influencer page. For those of you who don't know, I used to run a bunch of pages. People with bigger pages than me would tell me, oh, you know, you got to start the page because you like it, you have a passion for, you know, sharing luxury or quotes or whatever. No. I solely started that page for one purpose, because I thought I could make money, and I did. So it's like, that's what influencers for the most part are looking for. And so they're gonna say whatever they can, they're gonna present themselves in a way that usually tries to make them be on a pedestal and look better than they actually are. So you have to be selective with who you're deciding to work with, because obviously you don't wanna waste your money. Of course, that's a given. So when it comes to this, you just have to pick and choose who you want to work with. And usually I can cut out about half the influencers in any niche, but like right as I land on their page, just go boom, 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 and cut them out. Okay, and you can go write it on a spreadsheet, write it down on a physical piece of paper, just all the lists of influencers and their usernames, you know, that are in a no, you know, put a category that says no and yes, no, yes, maybe, whatever you want to do. You can structure that however you want, but you have to be selective, because too many people are like, oh, you know, here's an influencer, let me try it. No, you don't need to try every influencer. You shouldn't try every influencer. I'll give you one instance where I did try influencers that I had previously put in the no or maybe category. Black Friday. 2 weeks before Black Friday, I started testing other pages that I haven't already tested. Very simple reason why. Because I wanted to see if they worked at all, got me any traffic. Even if they were break even, I was gonna do it. Because as we're gonna talk about stacking here in a second, which I'll explain what that is, I know you're probably confused, but I was going through, because I already had all the influencers in my niche contacted, I was already running shoutouts, I had it lined up, so I already had done them. And I was looking for more because I was kind of bored, I wanted to get more traffic, I wanted to get more sales on Black Friday. Okay, so that's when I kind of branched out and started, you know, I took the risk a little bit to actually go invest and spend that money on something that I didn't know for a fact would work. So I kind of work backwards in that sense. I go through pick influencers, but I start with deciding what I don't want, okay? I don't want people who have mostly, for the most part, their comments are all engagement groups, just saying nice, cool, good one, love it, all those classic things. It's not good, okay? You gotta look through the comments, you gotta look at their engagement, maybe put on their post notifications and watch their post. Right when they post, how many likes does it get? Did they get 1,000 likes within 3 minutes and then only 100 for the next 3 days? Well, okay, that might tell you something. So kind of just watch them and study. And I think a lot of this, we're actually gonna talk about this next point that I wanted to do after. We'll talk about stacking here in a second, but what I wanna talk about first, literally you guys, half of this stuff is common sense. And I do wanna tone down on the swearing a little bit. I think it hurts my ad revenue. I don't know, but common sense, you guys, this is so much of it, in my opinion, is just common sense. Please just think logically about this stuff, okay? If you wanna increase your % chance of success, you need to have common sense and watch their page. Guess what? You can go on Instagram right now. I'm not lying. You can go on Instagram. You have the ability to do that. And these pages are public. They might be private, but you can follow it. Guess what? And you can actually, it's amazing. You can see what they're posting when they're posting. You can look at the likes, look at the comments. You can actually do that. It's amazing. It's just this new update. It's absolutely insane. But it gives you the opportunity now, this was never available before, where you can actually watch and study an influencer. And when someone posts a shout out, get this, they have this crazy new feature called the DMs. And so you can actually DM, which stands for direct message. You can message these influencers, right? Are you following along here? And then you can contact them and ask these people who were running a shout out on their page, the page that you wanted to run that shout out on, and ask them how it went, how it's going, what their thoughts are. And on top of all that, not only can you see when they're posting and whatnot, you can go look at the comments, assuming there are any. Hopefully there are. You can look at the likes, you can compare the likes, because you can actually see all their other posts as well. It's on their page, it's amazing. And so you can compare what's going on, and you can really look at the hard data. So on top of that, and if you couldn't tell that was complete sarcasm, you should be studying their page, their post that they did. What was the actual picture? Did they have text? What product? What color? How'd they organize it? Was it blurry? Obviously, hopefully it wasn't. Look at the ad copy. Did they use emojis? How did they structure it? What was the call to action? Where was the call to action? All these different things. And on top of that, if they give you a yes or no answer on whether it went well or not, well, now if it went well and they said yes, so they had success, we'll kind of build off of the components that they had. Go pretty much copy what they did and put it in there. A lot of marketing is just copying and putting a twist on it, on your own product, your own page, whatever. So it's really that simple. Just have common sense when it comes down to it. And I do want to touch on stacking real quick. You guys, when you're trying to stack influencers, which that means have multiple influencers running at the same time. So a lot of you are asking me, how do you know which one's bringing you the sales, which one's bringing you the traffic? You don't. There might be an app, I think I've heard of one, I don't use it. You don't. Obviously, if you're running 3 different traffic sources to the same product, you don't necessarily know from Instagram. Obviously with Facebook and the pixel, it tracks it from which campaign, but on Instagram, you don't know where it's coming from. So don't do it. Don't stack shoutouts unless there's one situation where I would, and I know I talked about Black Friday, I stacked on Black Friday, but you don't want to do it unless you know the influencer works. Know the influencer works. That's it. It's really that simple, because unless you've run that influencer multiple times with multiple products, you don't know if they're going to get you the results or not. So you don't want to have multiple you've never done before all going to the same place at the same time, because obviously you don't know and you can't segment where that data is coming from. So for me, it's very simple, and really it goes back to common sense. And I think a lot of you guys just need to take a step back, go slow. Oh, what'd I do? Just go slow with it and kind of see what's working, okay? Do one every single day. Try and push them apart and segment that. Because in a lot of your guys' niches, you might not have a lot of influencers. So spread it out, go slow, see what's working, and then build off of that. I test small, I really do. I'm not spending a lot of money when I'm first getting started. Even now that I technically have the money or whatever, it's still not that much. I'm still slowly seeing what influencers work, seeing what people are responding to the best, and just building off of that. It's the same thing for Facebook. It's really that simple, and this is just my personal opinion. That's kind of my style, that's how I do it. That's how I run things, and it works for me. So, try and increase your percentage, just study what's working. Again, common sense. Please think logically about this stuff. Study influencers that you want to do it. Start small. Don't waste a lot of your time or money. But when you are spending time looking for these influencers, turn on their post notifications. Make a list, grab a pencil, a number 2, Ticonderoga, and write down a couple of influencers and just check in on them every day. If you see someone's done a shout out, reach out to them, look at the post, look at the ad copy, read through the comments. Simple stuff like that, you guys. You have full access to it. And by doing all these things, it's led to me now having a very high success rate on the front end with all these influencers. So if I were to start in a brand new niche selling earbuds, I'd go through and I'd find a ton of influencers, and I guarantee you I would have a majority, more would be winning for me than losing because I do these things that we just covered. So I hope that helped. If you got any value, I'd appreciate it if you drop a like down below. And if you haven't already, be sure to join the fam by hitting that nice link and subscribe button. And I post every single day, so I'll be seeing you tomorrow in the next one. Peace.